Race number 1, and Stephen Hunt, you spoke of Amazing As. Any other money?
Yeah, there has been, Jace. It's a decent lead. The fact that they do have the stablemate in Los Angeles in that third line of betting, if I can crunch a few numbers between the two, Amazing As, around about 400 multis in progress compared to Los Angeles, 22 multis in progress. Single bets, Amazing As holds 4 times more money than Los Angeles at that $3.30 line. Now, that is its opening line. I don't think it's going to start any higher than $3.30, maybe close. We're looking at that $3.290 line. So $3.30 could be potential value come close at around about 30 minutes past 12. Going through a few other runners, High Spirits, very solid, the local in that second line of betting at $4.20. Vitachi, 7 out to $7.50, no friends there. Speaking a little bit on I Tell You One Thing, they backed this runner on the second day. I think it came in around about 7 or 8 points in race 1 on day 2. Again, reinvestment on this runner, I Tell You One Thing, particularly at that $12 price, and also a little bit of speaking around Kamada Lincoln at 17s, but all the action, the word is on the favourite here, Amazing As, $3.30.
Speed map for the first, brought to you with the help of Form Pro ratings, and look out from a wide draw, potentially going across with Los Angeles and Iron. You've got I'll Tell You One Thing, who is well drawn to get one of the runs of the race. Amazing As is mapped to sit midfield or maybe back. Brendan Popwell, Bevan Sweeney, how did you dissect the first?
Yeah, well, look, obviously, Bevan, the horse in barrier number 11 is going to work over, isn't it? And look out, we've seen that horse be able to do that. I thought Arshin could possibly play a part in going forward as well, who's drawn in barrier number 2. But yeah, Amazing As, look, he's shown good form on the home track at Ruakaka along with Los Angeles.
Yeah, I thought Rough Cut might go over as well from that outside draw, and just make sure there was okay speed in this particular race. As Jason mentioned, I had Amazing As back in the last half of the field, and with great form coming into it. I don't know a lot about the horse, but I like the Asmore breed as staying types of horses, and you've always got that question mark when they sort of come away from home and go the other way around. But this horse, as we're about to see shortly, has shown a fair bit of quality. But look, High Spirits has been here on day number 1, so I think that's the relevant video to show you, because she was very, very good fresh up. She worked home nicely behind OCDPP, and interesting enough, this day she actually jumped and got on the steel and actually posied up a little bit closer, and then didn't quite finish it off. I think Jason Waddell's a very good booking on this particular mare.
She looks like she's a horse who's getting close enough, and obviously now we get some more distance into the 2,200 metres, and look, she's even going to probably, she's obviously going to go further as well as she gets on into her campaign.
Yeah, look, I expected her to finish off a little bit better than this, but the tempo wasn't strong. Centre attention sort of led up under a great ride by the young man, and he just kicked on. She did hit the line nicely as well, so you'd expect her to be well in the market. I didn't quite mark her as short as she is though.
Yep, all right, well, let's go to Amazing As now, who is the next video we want to look at. And also we get a good line here on a Los Angeles, because this is the effort when these two horses met on the 1st of September. Amazing As, look, what I will say is he really has arrived this season with a massive rap out of Ruakaka. He's been probably the one horse that I've spoken about a lot when I've gone to Ruakaka, and he's just starting to put it together his last couple of starts.
Yeah, I love his action. He really wants to find the line. He's got that sort of long gait that you like in your staying horses, and he clearly covers a bit of territory, and he really wanted to find the line there. So a couple of wins on board. I had to go with the 5 on top BP. I've got a fair bit of time for Commander Lincoln. If you reflect back on Rickett, and they really punted this horse over 2,500 metres, and he duly delivered for them down through that particular carnival. So I like a horse on a quick back up. It went up to the 1,800 metres. It's getting up over the 2,000 metres here this afternoon, 2-2. I think he'll run a race. So I thought he was great value at $17. High Spirits in the mix as well. And look, I tell you one thing's been too good at the carnival, and on the quick back up into the second day, has a couple of weeks in between runs, I think it'll improve.
All right. I'm pretty keen around Amazing As well. Maybe it's a bit of a roughie Arjun, runner number 7. Third up, 2,200 metres has won both of its starts over this distance. Could lob a very good forward position. It might be one just to try and spice things up for the multiples. Jason?
Get the pronunciation of that horse right one of these days as well, Arjun. Thanks, BP. Race number 2, and this is the market for it. And we've got obviously the very, very speedy Gift of Power, $2.30. Power Hatter at $5. Stephen Hunt. Is it about Gift of Power this race, or are punters sort of holding back a little bit?
I wouldn't say they're holding back, Jace, but there's an even spread right throughout this this particular race on a number of horses. If there was one decent market mover, it is on the bottom horse, number 9, Vinnie's Volley. John Barry always has a horse that tries to stitch up us bookies here in Petone over this carnival, and Vinnie's Volley could be that individual. Lightly raced mare, daughter of Efraj, and look, she's going for 3 on the bounce, so she's rewarded punters in her first 2 starts, and from that gate I think she gets a soft run with a bit of speed outside her. So Vinnie's Volley has been the decent market mover. Open double figures when betting commenced on Thursday at $10, Jason. It's now to $7.50, and that's even a move just in the last hour or so. It was trading 8.5 just before we came to air. So look, biggest single bet, $2,000 on Vinnie's Volley. Outside that, Gift of Power, we'll start favourite and a dominant favourite at $2.30 currently trading. Power Harder, $4.80 out to 5. Stradivarius, De Niro, $6.80 the pair, now trading at $7.50 each of 2, and we go to Vinnie's Volley at $7.50. So if there's one to stand out in an even market outside the favourite, it is Vinnie's Volley, the local.
And I just hear the tune, it's all about the map, ringing in my head. This is how it looks with Form Pro and a lot of green. Gift of Power, De Niro, Stradivarius, Vinnie's Volley. You've got Parahatta and Barcello there, and really the likes of Awatani and Bella Joy, the only ones that pull back. This is the challenge of the race here, Brendan, I thought, is quite how they'll settle it. It's a race that you can't bet into after 100 metres, unfortunately, but you'd love to.
Yeah, that's right, isn't it, Jason? I mean, with Gift of Power, as we know, she's a horse who loves to try and come across them, but Stradivarius, I mean, he's a horse with Billy Pin aboard that gets weight relief, and we know that how hard he likes to go in front as well. De Niro, yeah, this race is set up for the one that just gets that sweet trip just in behind it, isn't it, behind this pressure?
Yeah, absolutely. My best value on the day is Parahatta, because I think it can probably pull out of the speed battle. This is our Pony now. She just fought Chris on this occasion. I just wonder if they just let her roll, just let her do her thing out in front and see if they can get to her, because he tried to restrain her on this occasion. Then King Cougar had to sit on her back, as Parahatta is going to get today, and he was a little bit too good for her on that occasion. There is blazing speed in this race, so there's going to be a few softened up, I feel. So I really like Parahatta in the race. This is the performance.
Yeah, Cambridge Breeders, yeah.
Yeah, back at the Cambridge Breeders, and I know it got every favour in the run, but was good enough to take advantage of that, and had been pretty good winning the Pride too. So it took a sit on this occasion on reasonable sort of tempo. I think it can take a sit in behind good strong tempo in today's race. And look, I'm really keen around the $5 about this horse. It took a pretty good horse to run it close to in that particular race day.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you've got Hanger really closing off. As you pointed out, there was good tempo in that race. She was able to take a good spot. What do we take from first up to the races, you know, with her run at Pukekohe coming into today?
Oh, I thought it was a nice performance, fresh up. Like they probably put the mark around this $40,000 race to get here. So you give them one, bring them into today, and look, it'll improve. That's what they do out of the Baker and Forsman team. So I really liked Parahatta. Look, Gift of Power is very, very talented. Just don't know if this race sets up nice with all that speed to attack her, but I'll put her in for second. Awatani fresh up will probably be able to sit off the speed. He's pretty tractable, that particular horse, and has been here and won in nice company prior. And then I put in Vinnie's Volley, who's, well, as Jason said, if you knew after 100 metres Vinnie's Volley got there easy with a light weight, then you'd be quite keen to have it a little bit further up your selections. But they will run time in this. It'll be interesting to see exactly what time they cut out.
Yep, yeah, I'm sort of with you, Bevan, as well with Parahatta. Just feeling as though, Jason, this horse could take a nice spot, just slotting in behind the pressure, and maybe could be the one they're all looking for late.
Yeah, that's how it's all forecast, isn't it? And you just wonder exactly how it'll pan out, because sometimes you see a ton of speed and a jockey or two decides to stay out of it, and then the horse that leads controls it, and that's that. Anyway, that's race 2. We can talk more about that later. Race number 3 is the Dan Despacito Memorial, and it's over 1,200 metres with Copper Mine at $5.50 now. The outright favourite, $6.50 for Comeback, Divine Love and Pink Graffiti. Look at this race, Stephen Hunt, and find it a real challenge. What has the money said? What has the money told you at this stage?
Well, we've had this race open for just under 24 hours, Jason. Copper Mine comeback went up equal favourites at $6.20 each of 2. Since then, Comeback has been easy, out to $6.50, where Copper Mine has come into lone favourite at $5.50. It's just as important to inform punters on cold runners, and one of them is definitely a comeback, even though it's had the trial and it's got a nice gate in this particular race. But gee, there's only about $20 odd invested in this runner at this stage, and from what I can see, there's not too much changing on this particular runner from the Rogerson barn. So just keep an eye on where that price ends up later on this afternoon. Divine Love out of the Benno Wyndham stable has been well supported. We accepted a $1,000 bet at $7.50. It's now trading at $7. A bit of specking around another local and Hugo the Boss at $11. And Myrtle, a few friends around this individual in ICD Gallopo, who in the last 2 times it's been prepped up, it has won first up, and it finds itself in that mode today. Myrtle currently a losing result at $14. So best lead I can give in an open and even market, Copper Mine 650 into 5.5.
Okay, that's the money lead. How about the map? And from the map, we'll go to Brendan and Bevan. We've got 5 runners there that map to potentially push forward. I thought that Hugo the Boss and Methuselah certainly runners that would press, and what they do with Copper Mine, well, you'd say that Troy Harris will be asked to be positive, because he's looked very good on occasions when he's allowed to be that. How do you line up Copper Mine here, BP? Because, boy, he's looked really good on occasions, but he's also let the side down. Copper Mine once before. He's looked unbeatable at the trials as well.
He has looked unbeatable. He's tried like an aeroplane, hasn't he? At times, this horse, Copper Mine. Look, he did win from a good gate. Obviously, he won from gate number 1 when he did win, and he jumped on speed when last presented back at Ruakaka on the 30th of June. But look, from what I have seen of him, he can run. So, look, I wouldn't be surprised if they look to push the button and try and cross them here with this horse in Copper Mine. Overall, a race that is tricky, isn't it?
Well, it is. Star quality probably adds to all the interest, because he's a sort of horse that's always sort of shaken himself into the ground fresh up and been really hard to control. The speed map suggested that he wouldn't be in the early rush. I think he'll be right up in the mix, even with Matty Cameron picking up the ride here this afternoon. He can run them along nicely, so that should add a lot of speed into this race. I thought Blonde Line, gee, it was dominant, so it's more than likely to push forward into a leading position. Methuselah, Hugo the Boss will to push forward, so I really thought there'd be some speed in this race. Look, I've decided to stick with the Peter McCoy runner and Methuselah. I thought that the win fresh up here at Hastings was very, very good. Not far from Les Sabliers, second up, so he's got good enough form, been here through the first 2 days to run a race here this afternoon. Look, if there's one man who's going to be trying in this race, it is Letha Assist. It's the Dan Esposito Memorial. So he'll really want to win this particular race. And she was very good 2 starts ago. I know the last start a little bit disappointing, but I'll put Pink Graffiti in. The 3 Copper Mine showed enough to me to be in the mix as well. And then Myrtle, gee, it was good at Woodville fresh up last time. I know it didn't go on with the job, but just keep it safe in your selections.
Yeah, I think you're spot on the mark there around Leith as well, and his wife Jess, a very close friend to the family was Dan, and he certainly will be trying his hardest with Pink Graffiti. And look, it's a good ride too. Look, the horse was working home nicely in the trials most recently. Aroteteko was finishing on at about 5th position and had something to offer as well. Maybe a bit of Pink Graffiti each way, sort of around 750 with bookmakers.
We've got Group 1 racing today. Obviously, it's Livamol Day. We get to see Love Affair and also Tiako Shark, but one of the horses on the undercard presents in race number 4, and there is a suggestion that he is a Group 1 winner in waiting. It's a big call, but Lincoln Falls is 1 from 1. He's created a lot of chat, a buzz around the central districts. He's $1.90 Stephen Hunt. Is it a case of punters climbing on, or a few lobbing on to Linkawi?
There's 2 parts to the story, Jason. Lincoln Falls all the rage during the week when betting commenced on, I think it was yesterday afternoon, early stages, Friday on Lincoln Falls. Look, no surprise, we got touched up. I have to say, waved the white flag at Woodville when it debuted a few weeks ago, Lincoln Falls. So punters reinvesting. I think it's a $14 price from memory, and the 2,000 guineas for the son of Dundee, Lincoln Falls. $1.90 from a $1.95 opening line. I see it's always around about 230 on the tote currently. I think it will start odds on in both tote and fixed price, Jace. Saying that, Langkawi is all the rage this morning, got as high as 380 top flux, been backed into $3.40. So punters are really assessing this race as down to a 2-horse war between Lincoln Falls, the 3-year-old, and Langkawi, who's been a touch unlucky on day 1 and 2 of the carnival. Outside that, there's not too much to speak of. A little bit of specking around out of the park at 15s and Sterry Bill at 16s. But yeah, back to the top 2 here, Lincoln Falls, Langkawi. They dominate this market. Around about 95% of total turnover is invested on those 2 runners.
think a big part of that might be how everyone maps the race. It looks like Langkawi will find the rail in the lead, and I know Fearless is a horse that could go forward, but look, I wouldn't be surprised, BP, to see Lincoln Falls ridden positively to potentially try and find that outside lead position.
Correct. I think you're bang on the mark there, Jason. I think that's the spot they would be looking for with him, with Lincoln Falls. Look, he's created a massive impression, hasn't he? Look, he went into that race at Woodville with one heck of a rap, and as Stephen said, they put the white flag up. Well, I suppose they did open the horse at quite a lucrative price and closed off at $2, and won like a horse that has got so much about him. I mean, this was impressive, wasn't it, Bevan?
Well, he's got it. There's no doubt about that. And like, his head wasn't really let go here either. It's just a couple behind the saddle and then hands and heels. You see his ears pricking. And he could have won by 5 or 6 on this occasion. Look, I think he's got a few growing pains, so I wouldn't be backing him into Riccarton post today. I'm not sure he will get there if you're on at the 35s and sit with your ticket, because I'm not sure he's actually going to head to Riccarton unless he pulls up fantastically out of today. He's done a big job. He's had a ready-to-run preparation as well. Yeah. Big time in through this preparation. He's been in work for a period of time. So
that's a big call, that, because I mean, we could see this horse come out and blow them away and almost be second favourite.
Yeah, well, he could be second favourite in the race. Just what I've heard from the ladder team is they're not 100% sure he'll get there and how far he will go on in this preparation. So today we'll probably tell you more. So if you're on at 35, you're sitting pretty no matter what happens. I'm just not sure if he shortens into 4s that you jump in and clean him up at that sort of price, because he's the sort of horse to me that he could head to the Old Bayer Classic if he wins today, Karaka 3-year-old mile. Those sort of races would really suit him down to the ground. He's got it, and he should be sitting outside Langkawi in theory, and those two should be dominating this race.
Well, let's go to Langkawi now, and this is a horse who's run some good seconds so far, and I know the punt hasn't quite come off with this horse, but he looks the horse who's going to be in front and is going to say to Lincoln Falls, well, look, come and get me and see how good you are. And it could be a battle between these two down the straight.
And it took a good horse to beat him here, and a horse that I understand from reports out of the north is really trained on. Well, she had a crack at the Oaks last season in the Sablier, so you thought she was probably a horse that would get over a bit more ground, and I think she will, but she really got there late in this race, and she's got a fair bit of a quality and got across the top of him, and he'll fight all day. So if they do dominate and manage to slow it up, they could set fire at the top of the straight, and it could be one heck of a war. He deserves to be second favourite in the race. Look, I'm going to stick with Lincoln Falls. He'll be my best on the program. I think he's one of the more exciting 3-year-olds coming out of the Central Districts. We had Dijon Bleu out of the ladder stable last season. I think this is who won for this season. Sunate, not far off him, but he's just got a lot of excitement about him. 13 Langkawi, I think Rhinestone Cowboy's at a false quote. I think he's quite an exciting type. Then, look, Celtic Rockstar, sectionally, it was an outstanding performance a couple of weeks ago, and I know he's probably going to get 5 back the rail, and it makes it difficult, but look, he does have ability, so he's in 4.
Yep. Jason, it's a race where it's race number 4 and it's a special conditions race, but it could play such a key part as well to the Punter of the Year competition, because I'm sure there is a number of punters that are thinking maybe this is a chips all in job on Lincoln Falls, and look, if he is beaten by Langkawi, or if Langkawi's to win the race, it could be a runner that could be well backed as well in the Punter of the Year. I think this is a big race in terms of that competition and the day surrounding it, the 4th on the program.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And then you've got horses, or a horse like Rhinestone Cowboy that does have a reputation that might just jump out of the ground, and if the other two do things wrong or don't quite hit the line, could blouse them all. Celtic Rockstar sectionally has been exceptional. The Sacred Falls Hawke'S Bay Guineas is the 5th and the first of the black type races on the program, where Melt is the $2.50 favourite from Sword of Osman in Madison County. I noticed, Stephen Hunt, that Sword of Osman has trimmed up.
Yeah, they're going again, Punters. They got burnt at Ruakaka when set off speed, and a couple of key gear changes here. The barrier blanket and side winkers added on Sword of Osman. They come in as soon as betting commenced on Wednesday afternoon. Jason had to be said around Sword of Osman. $5.80 top fluck, now $5. Currently holds 2 times more money than the filly and the favourite in Melt. Saying that, I think Melt come close will hold more dollars than any other runner, including Sword of Osman. Her price opened at $2.70. She got as short as $2.40, just eased back out in the last couple of hours this morning to $2.50, but don't get put off. I think she's kind of found her mark around that $2.50, $2.60 line. Madison County from the powerful Baker Forsman stable, $6.50, but definitely looks to be running for us from what I can see on turnover at 6.5. Cernate solid at $12. A couple they have specced in the middle market, and Bobby Dazzler, probably one individual that here in Petone we've underrated at times, and particularly in the Wanganui Guineas, did the business there at longer odds, and again punters reinvesting. Top Flucker 23 now trading 18s around the Marsh Horse and Bobby Dazzler, and a little bit of specking around Star Performance. I believe Bevan doesn't mind this individual. We'll hear shortly on his thoughts around this runner, drawn barrier 2, but currently a losing result. And if I can just quickly mention, Jace, going back to race 1, I tell you one thing has been scratched, not too sure of the reasons, but it has come out a 7% deduction, and that's now meaning Amazing As is a $3 flat favourite.
Okay, good information to get live about I tell you one thing, unfortunately, out of race number 1. This is the map, though, for the Hawke's Bay Guineas, and slightly different scenario for Melt, who's had the gun run midfield on the rail at Ruakaka the last 2 starts, and today, Brendan Popplewell, sort of Osman has the rail, and you just expect that they'll be pressing the button on Patrick Bosson with the side winkers on. They'll be go time today.
Look, I think if you got burnt last time to the races, do you go again at 5.5 or 5.8 and it's now into $5? So the answer to that is, look, potentially punters have. And look, he's a hard horse to ignore in the race, isn't he, Bevan? Because of, you know, what he showed as a 2-year-old with the way that he won Systema Stakes by controlling that race. Look, let's go to Melt. Of course, this is the race that sort of Osman was disappointing, and he just didn't raise a gallop. He did absolutely nothing on the race. Melt comes up the inside. You've got Arriva Ducci in Madison County, very good out wide.
I just think he likes the rail on his flank. If he gets that this afternoon from the inside gate, you might see a completely different horse. But he was just poor on this occasion, there's no doubt about that. But Melt's good. I thought Madison County was just as good, if not a little bit better in the way it hit the line at Ruakaka. That's pretty tough to do. Melt got all sort of the splits up the inside. Just wonder where she posies up in the race. It's hard not to have her on top in your selections, but look, Sam's going to have to be right in her game to secure the right trip to produce her in this particular race to win. She's the benchmark at the present moment. This is Cyber Attack on day number 1. You've got Cavallo Veloce. Kiji Express has come out of the race clearly. And you've also got Cernate. He's a horse that's had Group 1 placing on his CV. He's only had 1 run in this preparation, a quiet trial, and he should get a soft sit in behind them, and he'll appreciate the 1400 metres. But look, she is the benchmark, so she will go on top for me. I've got a feeling sort of Osman will be a different horse this way of going, second up, and he'll find the running rail. So I expect him to run a race. And then look outside of that, Cernate and the 5. The interesting runner is right down the bottom of the book, and I didn't expect Lisa to actually play up with Princess Emily. But she was very, very good on day number 2 in her fresh up performance. She comes off a trailing position in behind King Louis. We pick up Star Performance, Cavallo Veloce and Cutter Deal, who are all good in the run to the line, but she was just better, and she had a little bit of head carriage like Dijon Bleu when she got clear, and she never really gathered herself, as TV said, post-race, and she was very, very good. Look, it's almost impossible for her to win the race from that particular draw, but she really is one to follow out of the race.
No, I think that's not a bad video to look at, is it? Because you've got the likes of King Louis. Star Performance was doing some good things as well. You mentioned a horse who could be slightly forgotten in this race, is Cernate. You know, as you said, Group 1 place last season. Pretty good run, I thought, just in behind them here first day of the carnival. You know, you're sort of looking $12, $13, $14.
So, well, look, he had a trial in between times, and he is a lazy horse. He only does what he has to do. So I think at some point in this preparation, the blinkers will go on, and that will sharpen him up the fraction. But he'll love a soft run, and behind him, he'll love to step up the 1400 metres. There's one that I could see, and Stephen mentioned it, getting a really soft run in the race. Star Performance has got the man that's won 2 Group 1s aboard. Yes, he may have been slightly disappointing these 2 runs, and I thought he was okay in that particular race. So if he got a real soft one in behind him, he might run into the placings. Sacred
Falls, Hawke's Bay Guineas, a race that always produces a very good winner, and then they go on to do some good things potentially towards Christchurch. And of course, Jason, as we mentioned, we do have the New Zealand punter there, which is a room just next to us right now, and I do understand that some of the punters in there are taken in the punters lounge.
I assume the sound's on, Brendan. and not music playing. Anyway, race number
Loving
6.
them out,
All the
Jason.
best to all those in the Bay Forward Punter of the Year. Everyone with their own opinions, and that's the great thing about totalisator betting, isn't it? You're playing against your mate, your friend, or I suppose if you're in your team, you're with your team, but then you're playing against everyone else, aren't you? Race number 6, this is how the market stacks up for it. And just a note on, I tell you one thing, a floating issue unfortunately has seen her come out of race 1, that's why. Joe's Legacy, 420, Le Sablier, 550, leading roll 650. Money, Stephen?
Interesting race. The best lead I can give here, Jace, is on number 9, Lisa Belair, who did the business when first up on day 2 over a shorter trip. Will love the mile. Top fluck was $6.50 during the week. It's now to $5.50, and it can really challenge favouritism here v Joe's Legacy, who's currently favourite at $4.20. But I wouldn't be surprised if Lisa Belair starts favourite in this particular race. The rating 65 mile. Van Diamond, who comes off the bench, has been well supported. Double figures on opening 10. Now trading at $7, and also a little bit of speccing for Physical Fantasy, who's had the 3 trials leading into this. Frank Ritchie does the training, Lee Thinnis does the riding. Big watch on that runner, currently a losing result, $9.
Here's the map for race number 6, and the speed to come from the mitigator. There really doesn't look to be a heck of a lot of pressure in the race. It looks the natural leader from an inside barrier, Brendan.
Certainly does for Peter Mackay and Danielle Johnson doing the riding. Look, there's some nice horses in this race. I thought Joe's Legacy is a horse who, potentially can go on to get to a good race. Le Sablier, though, is potentially the same as well, though, Bevan. We saw her get to an Oak. She ran through the Lowland, and this was her win most recently.
Yeah, and she had to be good this day. She had trialled up very, very nicely, hadn't she? So there was a little bit of money around for her and a little bit of chit-chat race day. You can see her down towards the inside. Mike was going to get off that part of running and get between horses. She had to take her gap. She did. That's a good sign. And she got across a horse that we're saying will run very close to a horse we think a lot of in Lincoln Falls. So the suggestion is that she has certainly trained on and she sets up to 1,600 metres here this afternoon. So you'd have to think she's going to be right in the mix. Look, we all look for plots, BP. I think there's a plot afoot here with Londaro for the Larry and Cullen team. He's back into 65. He was very good, only beating 2 lengths behind Hartley and a rating 72. I know he has to carry top weight. He's up to his favourite trip at the 1,600 metres. I think he's going to be planted outside the leader, and he's been set for this race. It's worth $40,000. Find it hard to see him not running the money, and I'm going to tip him on top, Londaro.
Nice. Won the maiden 1,600, of course, on the meeting that was moved to 2 weeks later in October after the first 5 races were called off, and Londaro won on that occasion. Evan's liking it around a $12 quote, Jason?
I think the bookies have given their first little jab to trackside form analysts because it's ticked out to $18, Londaro. So if you backed it early, you've got 18 now. You might need to go again. Race number 7, this is how the market stacks up for the Hastings-HEART of the Hawke's Bay Mile. $2.10 Mongolian Marshall, $4.60 Hartley, $8.50 Ford. Is it all about Mongolian Marshall here, Steve?
Similar pattern to what we saw on day 2 around Mongolian Marshall, Jason, where almost the price was too good and they wanted to play the patient game. They came very late in the last race, I believe it was, on day 2 around Mongolian Marshall, and it did the business. And just see today, a lot of turnover has come around Mongolian Marshall. It was quite dry during the week. They are willing to back a few around it, in particular Hartley, from a $5.50 line now trading at $4.60. Maybe the gap between the two, knowing that there wasn't too much between them on margins on day 2 was too big. So Hartley's come in almost 1 full point to $5.50 into $4.60. Outside that, there's a little bit of specking around Dark Princess. I suppose he brings a different form line into this, where a lot of these horses were beaten fair and square by Mongolian Marshall and Hartley. So yeah, other than that, it's pretty quiet. A little bit of specking around Fawn, who could be an improver from the Roger James stable, but Mongolian Marshall, $2.10. I'm pretty happy with that price. I don't think it's going to start any higher. So if you're wanting to punt it, I'd suggest to punt early rather than later on from day 2.
That's significant information given how short Mongolian Marshall is, but does reflect the reputation, I'm sure, and the performance in itself. It was a top performance from the last time. Sacred Rhythm Heavens keep amongst the leaders. How did you assess this, Brendan?
Yeah, well, it just looks like with Mongolian Marshall that he's going to get a pretty sweet spot, isn't he? And to be honest with you, Matt Cameron was able to lob at him a beautiful spot and gave him every opportunity to come across heels and lengthen out. He gets himself 200 more metres, which is clearly going to be ideal for the horse because he can work up in distances. Little toe in the ground is going to help as well. There's a lot to like about Mongolian Marshall.
Oh, he has a bit of X factor. There were some runs in the race. Beauty Way's outstanding. I thought Hartley, he was very, very good at a big price, and he's at a reasonable sort of quote here this afternoon, but he just showed that little bit of class late in this race when he really extended, and he actually got there with a bit of ease. So he's a good horse, he's getting up over ground. Beauty Way's been very good. Hartley, a nice run as well. And look out for Duplicity. I think I might go to the New Zealand Cup. That was a good run, fresh up, and actually you'll just take him through the grades. He might be one to follow. So look, I think Mongolian Marshall's the one. You have to put the big circle around him on the reputation and what he did fresh up. $6 Hunter Pence, 4 kilos off. Felix does the training. I think they'll push forward with this horse. Don't forget him. He's got a fair bit of ability, jumped and ran with him at the trials. I think he's a great place price. The two, Beauty Way was good enough for me in that particular race and didn't have all favours to be in the mix. And Hartley, well, he's just flying, so he's got to be in the mix as well.
He is flying, yep, and he's a horse who's been nibbled at, as we heard from Stephen Hunt. Yeah, didn't mind Beauty Way as well as a prospect in behind, but you're keen around Mongolian Marshall today, Jason?
Yeah, there'll be a lot of people who just want to lump on Mongolian Marshall as well. Lincoln Falls, Mongolian Marshall, 2 short price commodities. Speaking of which, Savvy Cope, $1.95 compared with an early tote price of $3.20. 10k in the pool, so not insignificant, but you'd expect a lot more than that come race close time. Scott Base at 70, but our Aberdeen at $8.50. Savvy Cope, multis in progress. Do they sort of reflect the price that you have Savvy Cope at the moment, Stephen?
Yeah, roundabout, Jace. There's about 1,200 multis in progress to Savvy Cope. I think that will climb above 1,500 at some stage early on this afternoon around Savvy Cope. And compared to next best and Scott Base in that second line of betting, with just a tad over 200. So, yeah, almost around about 6 times more than the next best in Savvy Cope, and when you're just talking multis in progress. But back to singles betting, Savvy Cope opened at $2.10, now got into the red at $1.95. That happened around about midday yesterday. There's potential that it could go back out to $2, even money at some stage, Jason. So, yeah, if you are playing the patient game around Savvy Cope, that could be an option because I can see that happening the next few hours. Scott Base, $7.50 now, short as $7. Good support around there. Potentially the second best bat runner, well, is the second best bat runner in this market. Our Aberdeen and Dance has been very well supported throughout the week. A little bit cold this morning. Our Aberdeen 9 top fluck now trading $8.50 and Dance 13 into 10. A lot of action the first 24 hours of trading on those two runners. So, yeah, a kind of race that shapes in two markets here. They're liking those 2-4 I mentioned. Outside those runners, it's been very friendless on every other runner. A bit of speaking on Big Mike at longer odds, Jace, but all the action on the top 4 in the Group 1 today.
Speed expected to come from Santa Million. Also Authentic Paddy you'd expect will work forward with Big Mike, clearly one of the pace influences. Just how quickly he'll go remains to be seen. Contessa Vanessa might lob in a good position. Could it be Savvy Cope at odds on that just blows them away here, Brendan?
Well, I mean, it's a form line that's hard to ignore, isn't it, from what we've seen through the 2 legs of the Group 1 so far. They've been the Tarzino when hitting the line, and then, of course, the very good run in the Windsor Park Plate, where she was held off for a fair part of the straight, and then once she found that clear air, she was able to cut that margin down on Melody Bell. So, look, there's some other unluckies in the race. Scott Base never got a clean shot at them. Our Aberdeen's been able to work home from the back of the field, and the 7th up has been good also, but take all of that away, and what Savvy Cope does here late just suggests that she's ready to go.
She's trotting at this point, just ready to sort of burst through, and she gets the split. Chris waited, and she was exceptional late. She really was. She was very good day number 1. Look, only bad luck beats her, I think, unless they set it up and walk, which is hard to see with Big Mike saying a million going forward. I'm not sure with Authentic Paddy. I know Trudy Thornton on good strong rider might be able to get him there forward. You'd think Contessa Vanessa Dance hold up a decent position. We talked Big Mike, here he is on day number 2. Paddy just never got there. It was an unusual performance from him. Ryan just couldn't stoke him up. Big Mike's in front. 5 to Midnight's come off sort of a 3-back fence position, centre of the track, and he'll get there in the last couple of bounds. Look, I'm not sure 5 to Midnight can win. from that draw. He's a much improved horse. I think there's a 2 mile big race in him this season, but this race, I could see him running in the money, but he's not a live winning chance in my mind.
Yeah, he's been a great Cups horse, has, 5 to midnight, but this is a weight for age challenge for the runner as well. But look, he's worked into the race. St. Emilion, look, he did run a very good race in the race last year, didn't he? Before he did win a New Zealand Stakes following that.
Well, I think he's going to have to take a sit today. He's not going to get past Big Mike. My mind, they're just going to try and lead on that horse. So he may, well, on a lot of occasions, the horse outside the lead controls the tempo. So he may still be in a controlling position if he can get to there. And if he does that, as we've seen in the past, he can keep on grinding to the line, St. Emilion, and run them off the deck from the 600 metre mark and really get them off the nickel. Look, in the race, I had to go with Savvy Coop. I don't think I've seen a horse come into the Livamol with the right sort of runs like this horse has in the past, since probably
Princess Cope.
Princess Cope. Starcraft came in with the same sort of runs, but got beat by Belmuse. So they're 11 on top. Dancing's Dance will posse up, has the draw. I'd like to see it done, that sort of training performance. It'd be really, really great to see a horse go 1,400 metres and win up over the 2,042nd up. The 7 in the book, Scott Base, I still thought he was slightly disappointing, but we know how good he is, so you can't drop him. And the 8 in the book, Lizzie Lamore, from that gate, if she puts herself there, she'll be a sharp improver. I think she's overs in the race.
She is. She's a dual Group 1 winner, isn't she? At this distance, she's weight for age horse, and she's at a big price. Look, I'm sort of happy to give a little play towards Dance Dance because, it is unusual what they've done, but it's not beyond her at the same time with what we saw from her last season. The Livamol Classic, though, Savvy Cope, she's the one to beat, isn't she, Jason?
Yeah, she sure is. And you look through those races, as you have discussed, the best run out of the first 2 Group 1s. Our Aberdeen was very, very good in both of those as well. OK, we push on to another interest race, the third black type race on the day. It's the Red Badge Spring Sprint. Tiako Shark, $2.90. Love Affair, $3.20. Is it a 2-horse race according to the market, Stephen Hunt? And who holds the most money?
Again, there's 2 halves to speak about in this particular market. Jason, during the week, they were winning to spec a couple in the middle market. One of them was Hugo Foscolo for the Marsh Barn, trading at $9 off a peak of 15. So it's gone up 2 or 3 spots in terms of the ladder. And favouritism line has Hugo Foscolo from a wide gate will go forward and give you a good run for your money, and we know the potential that this horse holds. So at this stage is a losing result, and a decent losing result around Hugo Foscolo. The other one was Magnum. We accepted a $1,000 bet on Magnum. In fact, $1,000 each way. One in the final field win, and also the top 3 round Magnum at 17s and now trading at 14s. But a lot of the action today, in particular in the last couple of hours, has been on Tiako Shark and Love Affair, $2.90, $3.20 respectively. And going forward, I think those prices are pretty solid without too much movement as we get closer to race start time. At this stage, Tiako Shark holds around about 2 times more money than Love Affair, but that's only just happened in the last couple of hours.
Now, will it pan out? Where will they beat Tiako Shark and Love Affair? This is the Form Pro ratings map with Hugo Foscolo, the leader from Amarula, and Tiptronic. I think they'll get good runs. You'd expect Magnum will go forward. How did you see things here, Brendan?
Yeah, well, I mean, you'd imagine that Hugo Foscolo, he's going to have to try and put himself in the race from out there. I actually didn't mind Tiptronic. I thought Tiptronic could take a reasonable position in the race. Amarula, I mean, is of course the one that's got the gate and is going to take that real forward running from the bullet. Tiako Shark and Love Affair, just how far off do they get? Where do they sort of posse up?
Gee, I imagine Love Affair is ridden very positively today, and I think she can possibly get in the 1-1 with Magnum and Hugo Foscolo going across and leading, outside lead, and I thought she should get a positive. Look, this is an exceptional performance because he's picked up a horse who's got a fair bit of quality and dropped it late. So it takes a fair horse to do this, and even at the 200 metre mark, which the horse has just gone past there, Shafiki isn't really asked. So he's got a big job to do over 200 metres, and he just really got to her. But they have spoken on multiple occasions about when the tracks get firmer and they have to really manage them a bit. So the track is certainly firm here this afternoon. So it's a big job in my mind to pick up Love Affair because she's Group 1 quality. Here she's beating Volpe Veloce. She sort of posied up on this occasion. Matt sort of planted her there. This is on the back of the very disappointing run over the 1,600 metres down at Trentham. So it showed that she'd come back. She went off the scene again, so that was a little bit mind sort of boggling and scratching rather. But look at her stretch here. And that's a Group 1 sprinter trying to chase you down, and look, she's shown a better turn of foot. So Can Te Akau Shark stand her 4.5 lengths? 5 lengths is the question mark, and I'll leave that one up to you, but I'll go with Love Affair to beat Te Akau Shark.
Baker Fallsmen have made that decision as well to have a shot at this race against running last week at Avondale as well. Is there anything else in the mix that we need to think about? I actually didn't mind the South Island horse, actually, and boots and all with a good gait. Look, did run third in a Copeland's, for instance. There's some good form around some of these other horses in the race.
Well, don't count out the walls. Sam Marula, he'll put himself there, and look, he will always run a race, and he'll be much fitter through that last start win here at Hastings. So he's set for it. He'll run a race. I wondered about War Affair second up. He's a quality horse at best, and will probably be right up with Love Affair and also Te Akau Shark at best. If not, maybe rated just a little bit higher. So I don't know where he's at. We'll have to look at him in the parade, but if he was fit and ready to go, then I'd give him an each way chance.
So the Group 3 rating, the Red Badge Sprint, and gee, that's going to be a race and a half, Jason, the 9th on the program.
Yeah, one of the highlights, no doubt. Race number 10 is the Bostock New Zealand Spring Carnival finale. Swiss Watch at 3, 5.50 for Hanarangi and 6.50 Irish Flame. Money here, Steve?
All around number 10, Swiss Watch, as soon as betting commenced Thursday afternoon, Jason. $3.40 top fluck. We accepted a $2,000 bet. It's now a $3 price and looks set to start one of the warm favourites up and down the program. If they are speaking a couple in the middle market, one of them is Danger D, who, if you break down sectionals, was comparable to Mongolian Marshall, the second 1400 metre winner on day 2. 15 top fluck, now trading 11. And the other one is Cutting Up Rough, 22 when we open, now trading at $14.
This is the map for the last race. Swiss Watch should draw on the inside, could be one of the leaders. We'll see how the track plays by then. It'll be very significant. Look, Form Pro says the track, rather likely tempo is fast. How do you break down the last here, Brendan?
Yeah, well, I mean, Swiss Watch can go forward, no doubt about that. And I thought maybe Hanarangi is the other horse as well who could possibly play a part in that. She's a mare that's very talented, won 3 from 9 as well from the Baker Fallsman team. But look, Swiss Watch, sort of, you go back to their Wellington Guineas run, got swamped late, went in front, been beaten by Scott Base. Look, a nice chance. How did you see the last?
All right, well, I think he's a very good chance. In the race, I was just going to go with Hanarangi. Saw her down at Trentham. I thought she was very, very good. She did cop an injury here in her last start here at Hastings, so she's had a fair bit of time down there at Surrey Farm before going back to Baker's. Big, strong, imposing mare who can sit outside lead and maybe just keep on rocking. Swiss Watch, yes, a lot of reasons for it on its fresh up run. Smoking Oak sectionally on day number 2 was outstanding, but he's disappointed again at Taupo. Maybe that's just a Taupo thing, I'm not sure. Irish Flame is certainly going well enough, so I marked them 16, 7 and 2 in the last on the program. My strategy for the day, my best bet is Lincoln Falls. I've got my fingers crossed that the young Dundee colt can get the job done nicely there. I think my best value on the program, Paro Harter, and I've got 2 blowouts for you. I like Londaro, and I think Hunter Pence can run a race. As far as the strategy goes, I'm going to have a $50 multi, Lincoln Falls Savvy Cope. I'm going to have a $25 multi, Lincoln Falls to win, Londaro, 100 pence to place, and I'll just have 25 to win on Para Hata.
Nice. I like that multi you've done there. Gee, that'll pay moonbeams. Right, look, I'm going to go for my best bet today, Mongolian Marshall, who's around 210, 220, somewhere around that mark. And Pink Graffiti is a value chance. Value, because it could be around about $8 and $2. Betting strategy, going to go 10 to win Amazing As in the first and have a little bit on Arjun at 20 a place on that run up, pay around $5 or $6 each way Pink Graffiti, and then a multi Mongolian Marshall into Savvy Cope.